There are a lot of creatures in the waters of the Amazon itself that can be very dangerous, and they themselves sometimes look literally like aliens. For example, a freshwater stingray. Usually, representatives of this family of fish live in the salty waters of the oceans, but the Amazon is quite full-flowing and rich in food, so that millions of years ago, these creatures chose it as a place for their habitat. In general, freshwater stingrays are not aggressive creatures, but they have extremely formidable weapons, which they resort to if they are frightened. And these creatures are very timid. There is simply no other way to survive in these tropical waters. The weapon of this stingray is the spikes that are on its tail. Moreover, the spikes seem to be hiding from the side. They are not at all at the very tip and are placed far enough from the base. Therefore, it is not possible to notice the sting immediately, which makes the weapon even more dangerous. At the same time, its length is like the palm of an adult. The thorn is sharp and strong enough to damage internal organs. And besides that, it's poisonous. The toxin can cause death if ingested by most small and many medium-sized animals. If a thorn injures a person's arm or leg, then they will most likely survive. But terrible pain, cardiac arrhythmia, difficulty breathing, the experience is very unpleasant, but you can survive. However, if the thorn wounds the body, this will be the last trip. The strange-looking fish that live in the Amazon may have more powerful weapons than some kinds of spikes. It is here that the electric eel lives, which generates one of the most powerful charges among all its kind. The eel uses its weapons for hunting and for protection from predators. If a fish is frightened, it generates a charge into the water with the help of special organs that can stop the heart of a large crocodile, cope with a bull or a jaguar. No blue lightning bolts go through the water, and the more terrible the victim of the eel looks. It begins to twitch, her body is pierced by powerful convulsions, and the animal becomes helpless, and eventually its heart just can't stand it. An electric shock from a short circuit of the household network is a rather serious threat that makes you behave carefully with each outlet. The electrical shock of the eel is at least 5 times stronger. The most frightening thing is that, like many other Amazon monsters, this fish does not stop halfway. If she gets into a fight, she is going to the end. Did you mess with the eel? Simply retreating is not enough. They will continue to shock even when the enemy flees. And only then will it definitely finish off the enemy, unless of course it somehow manages to jump out of the water. An eel can strike at a sufficiently large distance. Depending on the environmental conditions, the charge can hit the target at a distance of up to several feet, several meters from the eel. Therefore, this fish is one of the few predators capable of using long-range weapons. To show the coolness of different creatures, they often talk about how they deal with black caimans. These are the local relatives of the crocodile. By the way, do not confuse black caimans with ordinary ones. The former are relatively timid, almost never attack large game, and they themselves do not grow larger than 7 feet, 2 meters. But the black caiman is another matter. This creature can be dangerous to any inhabitant of the Amazon, so the reptile is at the top of the food chain. More precisely, it shares with jaguars and anacondas this spot. So don't think this reptile is a whipping boy. On the contrary, only the most insidious and dangerous animals manage to fight and defeat a huge toothy predator. Usually, a caiman gets what it wants, and it usually wants meat. The length of this fighter can exceed 23 feet, 7 meters, and the weight can reach over a ton. This makes it the largest local predator. It hunts any large animals: deer, capybaras, anacondas, tapirs, catfish. Of course, the black caiman leads a predominantly aquatic lifestyle. The Amazon rainforest is replete with thickets of trees that grow either near the water or directly from it. Shady nooks are an ideal place for an ambush of such a predator. It rushes at the victim from the water, or less often, by land. although such an animal is not capable of a long cross-country hunt. It makes a leap towards several feet, several meters, at lightning speed. Its main weapon is powerful jaws with long fangs. The caiman tears off pieces of meat with the help of powerful lateral movements of its huge, massive head. But the reptile can also strike with its tail or bend it under itself and then only use its teeth. Black scales play an important role. On one hand, it is one of the best natural defenses of reptiles in the whole world. Strong, thick, strong. In addition, its color serves both as a means of disguise and as a way to warm up more effectively. This is important for the cold-blooded reptile, which spends most of its life in the shade and poorly lit places. The jaws of the black caiman are powerful enough to easily hold even a large ungulate weighing several peoples. The most amazing thing is that even in such dangerous and difficult conditions, people manage to live there. And we're not talking about ordinary citizens of Brazil, Ecuador, Peru, Colombia, and Bolivia. We're talking about Aboriginal tribes that have been living in the local jungle for thousands of years. This is not a myth, but a reality. Even in the 21st century, impenetrable forests are inhabited by tribes that have practically no connection with modern civilization. Most of them chose isolation intentionally. Their representatives are aware of the existence of other people with their cities, state borders, money, and other newfangled inventions. But such tribes refuse to make any contact. And any aliens' attempts to impose their culture on them are answered with weapons. It would seem that they're ordinary arrows, but if they're soaked in the poison of some local frog, then you should definitely not touch them. However, there is an opinion that there are still such tribes of Aborigines who have never had contact with modern civilization at all and live unknown to anyone in the most impenetrable thickets. Where did they come from there? Humans appeared in America more than 22,000 years ago. Then the eastern coast of Siberia was connected with modern Alaska by land crossing. People from Asia, for some mysterious reasons, ventured on a dangerous journey to America, which was considered an entirely new world. If you want to learn more about human settlement and their interaction with wildlife, let us know in the comments. For hundreds and thousands of years, people have spread across both Americas, and even went into the most impenetrable thickets of the Amazon jungle. That is, the local Aboriginal tribes are direct descendants of those people. Some tribes are gradually assimilating with the citizens of the countries where their historical land is located. Some maintain contact with civilization, but live according to ancient customs. But there are also tribes that absolutely stop any outside contact. How do you think you would react to this? Leave these people alone or not? Let us know in the comment section. On the territory of the Amazon, there are scary animals in the water, on the ground, on trees, and what about the air? Of course there are. Amazonia is one of the habitats of harpies. Due to the fact that these birds maneuver between trees of one of the densest forests of the planet, their wingspan is not the largest among all birds. A condor has a wingspan of up to 10 feet, 3 meters. A golden eagle has a wingspan of 7 feet, more than 2 meters, and harpies have a little less than 7 feet, up to 2 meters. But at the same time, this bird is one of the most massive and largest feathered predators of the modern planet. Her clawed paw is larger than an adult's palm. The powerful blow of such sickle-shaped claws, enhanced by the speed of flight, is no weaker than the blow of a leopard's paw. The harpy's head is almost the same as a human's, only with a sharp beak that could leave a mark on metal. These birds do not attack humans, at least under normal conditions, as we would call them. They don't need to. Instead, they fly between the branches and collect monkeys and sloths like apples. But teasing this bird or approaching its nest is not worth it even for the bald ones from Fast and Furious. From the wrath of the harpy, no sports car will help you. Another winged creature here that can be dangerous is the vampire bat. It will not be treated either by a languid man in black or by a teenager glowing in the sun with a lacquered hairstyle and a love for silent girls. And this predator hunts carefully. It tries not to disturb its victim and just rather drink its blood from small, almost imperceptible punctures on its neck. But this vampire bat is dangerous because it carries various diseases in its saliva. And yes, it bites people. The vast biodiversity of the Amazon concerns not only animals, but also plants. And yes, some of them are dangerous too. Fortunately, there is no evidence yet that the local trees have rebelled like Ents. And the vines that strangle people are a myth, at least we hope so. But it is from the Amazon plant that curare poison is isolated, one of the most famous toxins in the world. And the poison, which is secreted by a plant called strychnos, is so strong that its nails are moistened with resin for hand-to-hand combat. Then even a scratch could be fatal for the enemy. All of these are just some of the dangerous species of plants and animals that live in the Amazon forests. In fact, there are even more of them. But it is a mistake to believe that this land generates only monsters that seek to destroy all life in their path. There are many incredible, beautiful representatives of flora and fauna in the Amazon forests. Bright flowers, beautiful birds, cute creatures. Yes, the local animals can look impressively beautiful, such as these predatory ocelot cats with big eyes and spotted coats. In fact, a huge number of dangerous creatures are a consequence of not bad, but good living conditions. It's like a paradox, but good conditions provoke population growth.